Welcome
Yay!
again to my tens and tens of friends. It is me, teacher TJ, and today we are going to relax, rewind, and review Abbott Elementary Season 1, Episode 2, Light Bulb. The show starts with the teachers watching the news in the break room, and here's some food for thoughts. I was watching something that said one of the worst things that you can do is to watch the news every day. But one of the reasons that you should not watch the news every day is because the way it makes you, and that just makes me want to take off my glasses because the way it makes you feel. Google says experts argue that excessive news consumption due to the way that it is delivered 24/7. I know you will notice if somebody's watching the news, it's like the same sad story over and over again. Oh, shout out to my sister, RIP to her. She used to watch the news over and over and over and over, and they'd be like, "Girl, turn this off." But it can have a significant negative effect on the mental health and overall well-being of somebody because it's just negativity nonstop. And whether you want to believe it or not, it like does something to your heart. It can also provide a distorted view of the world, which is unhelpful. So I would not recommend watching the news every day, all day. Actually, I can't tell you the last time I watched the news, but I do watch Abbott Elementary because laughing is good for the soul, the heart, the body, the mind, okay? Since the teachers are in the break room, let's just talk about how the teachers operates in the break room too. I don't know about y'all school, but the break room, that is where the teachers smoked at, okay? And man, I can remember the break room door always being closed and wondering what are they doing in there? Like what's going on in the break room? But for sure they smoked in there because like I remember the smell of cigarettes coming from the break room. When I became a teacher, I was like, oh, okay, this is the break room. At that time, but they were no longer smoking in the break room. Thank God, because no, thank you. But yeah, the break room that I saw was not what I thought I was gonna get. But I did get a chance to see what was going on behind those doors, behind those break room doors. When I got to see what was going on behind the doors, I always thought the break room would be so much bigger because as a kid, everything looks bigger. I also find it funny that Janine wasn't on time to school because she came in late from letting her boyfriend Tariq the rapper drive her car, and so he dropped her off at school. I'm not gonna lie, I wonder if being a teacher is a character flaw to the wicked people, because do the YNs and the ONs be rubbing their hands together like, oh my precious, there go a teacher, there go a nurse, because as teachers we have to believe in these children, right, in order to do a good job. So naturally we're used to believing in people. I know that they say that nurses are usually sought after by narcissists because they are caring. So most narcissists gonna feel like, oh, but she gonna take care of me because that's what she do. They also know that nurses are busy, so they can use a car like a teacher. You know, their schedule. They want a woman with a car and a schedule. And I feel like they don't think they have to put too much dating into her because she's busy and she's probably asleep. I think they also like the fact that she's a good look, a nurse and a teacher, because it's like the girl's career, for lack of better terms. So for their aesthetic, I think they like look at a teacher and a nurse like, oh yes, my precious. And they know they're gonna have money if they have a career. And we all know they like to use your money when it's narcissistic relationships. So I wonder if that would make them a good supply. Teachers and nurses, be safe out there, okay? They will try to get you. Hide your kids, hide your car, hide your money, and hide your house. You got to like hide your house. I don't know how, but hide your house. Anyhow, the cameraman cuts to Janine saying that Tariq was her boyfriend of 10 years and he's been rapping since they've been in high school. He's actually a viral TikToker who says actually she can't come to his show because he only has There's a maximum capacity for only like 15 people. How's she not one of them people? Okay. He lives with her too. So how is Janine not one of the people who get to see Janine? He says he's hungry and she gives him her breakfast sandwich. Then she asks him about the rent and he says to her he'll get to it, but he can't be bothered with that right now. Not in the morning. It's too early in the morning to be talking about the rent. Janine, Janine. Then he leaves. Like, what? What, dude? Are you serious? But apparently he is. Janine heads inside and she gets stopped by a scared student in the hallway. The student is crying, and the student was afraid of the blinking light that was in the hall. I'm sure though it's against some type of health code violation to have like lights out in the school. But of course, Janine, she wants to fix the light, but Barbara tells her to chill out and only worry about the stuff that she can control. Ava walks in, wondering why it was so hot in February. I was literally thinking the same thing here in my hometown, Indy. It is October and it's not cold. I mean, it's not cold yet. But I assured my kids that it will be freezing for Halloween because it always is. It's like, what kind type of cruel joke is this? Halloween comes, it be snowing, hailing. No, you know what? I think it probably snowed probably once or twice that I can recall, but it definitely has hailed and rained and has been very cold. Anyhow, we were reminded that the weather is getting hotter by Joshua Jacob because of climate control and the climate is changing. As the day begins, Mr. Eddie, also known as Gregory, in his class, a mother brings in her student late. She takes her child to the desk and then she proceeds to walk out of the classroom. I can't tell you how many times that a parent drops off their kid late in preschool. Now, I really don't have a cutoff time. I have a schedule for my kiddos, but there is no cutoff time. You make your schedule how you see fit. I just ask parents to keep a couple of things in mind, and that's when dropping off late, your child will miss a lot. Their breakfast will not, or more than likely, not be the same breakfast that the other kids have had because sometimes it's a cold breakfast, sometimes it's a hot breakfast. If they are late, they're going to get a cold breakfast unless I found a way to cook later and keep the food warm. And they could have missed so many activities. After the children arrive and it's past breakfast time and the kitchen has been cleaned and everything has been put away, I pretty much counted your kid out for the day. So when parents drop off like at 11, I'm like, what the hell? When I first opened, I didn't have a lot of rules. I was just kind of going with the flow and trying to figure it out, trying to be there for the parents. Yay. But people will make you create rules, okay? I had parents dropping off like at 1 o'clock. I closed at 6. What are you doing? And then picking up after 6. That's not my hours. What are we doing? So I had to change some stuff. So Principal Ava explains to Gregory that you have to talk to your parents, your students' parents, because they cannot be dropping off late. Janine, meanwhile, is outside trying to fix the light, and in good old Janine fashion, she knocks the power out in the school and maybe all of the power off downstairs. I myself am Miss Fix It. I was going to say Barb the Builder, but she not her. And I have really, I don't know how many times have I felt that I tried to fix something because I didn't want to wait for somebody else to fix it, didn't want to pay for it to get fixed. So I did the best I could do and just fixed it myself. And fixing it myself would mean that it was rigged up, or what we like to call ninja rigged. Of course, in good old Janine fashion, she caused the power outage in the school, and everyone freaks out and she wants to fix it. But when the power went out, we got to see how each teacher responds to or was prepared for the power outage in their own little way, of course. Principal Ava, she overreacts. After she caused the power outage, Janine was scared to come down the ladder. But our guy Greg helps her out, and he helps her down the ladder, and he gives her his hand and says, "I got you." I found that real cute for them. That was a sweet little moment for us to witness from them. Meanwhile, Tariq is texting her saying, "Have a great day, and you're going to need some gas." What in the YN is going on here? I'm delivered! Gregory and Janine begin talking, and she says that she has to fix the power. And she starts with the lunch lady, who proclaims not to be her friend, or who she doesn't like her because she says hello every morning. Crazy, right? Some people will actually not like you because you tried to bring some sunshine into their dark day. The lunch lady says she don't like Janine speaking to her in the kitchen because it's unsanitary. She might have a point there. Gregory is in the nail salon with Barbara getting a pedicure. He runs into one of the students' mom, and Barbara encourages him to have a conversation with the parent about the child's attendance. Meanwhile, Janine finds the circuit breaker and plenty of notes on the circuit breaker that pretty much tell her in every way possible, do not touch this. Which I think Janine did. Of course, she touched it. And she gets shocked. Go figures, right? Now the principal's power is out, and when they show her office and everything that's in there and what the power knocked out for her, she's sitting in the kitchen watching TV. I think she was watching TV. Who knows? But back in the nail salon, Gregory politely asked the parent why the daughter is late every day. One thing I try to assure parents here is that if you miss a day, you miss a lot. You miss the morning, you miss the plot. So, come when you want to. I'm just saying, you're not going to get everything that the other kids get. While most drop-offs are at 8:30 for me, there's usually one or two kids that come in late, which really is not my problem, just as long as they stay within our contractual 40 hours a week. You drop off and pick up when you want to, really. I'm just saying, you're going to miss a lot. Drop-offs and pickup times are solely up to the parent. Here is just a reminder that by 10:30, we've already done so much that your child will, Bright Wheels will be lacking. Bright Wheel is an app that we use in our program. It shows pretty much what your child is doing throughout the day. We take pictures and upload it. I don't do a lot of video, but I do share a lot of what your child is doing in the day through the app called Bright Wheel. The teachers are now back at the school where we discovered that Janine and Jacob have located the breaker, and this time Janine gets sleepy and passes out. She's not having a lot of luck. But she passes out because she has not eaten. Because remember, the girl gave her sandwich to Tariq. When she passed out, Ava was like, "What in the zombie nation?" And she ran up out of there. She said, "Let me get my tasty self out of here." Because we all know zombies eat the tastiest person first. Crazy part, all the teachers ran off and left Janine there. Like that, nobody helped her. But that is a pure example of how looking out for everybody else will have your ass lethargic, laid out, and passed out while everybody running right past you like you're not there. Somebody help her. While the electricity was out, all the teachers decided to take all the kids to play at the fire hydrant. Janine goes on to explain that she just really cares. She asked Melissa how she doesn't care. And Melissa had to let her know, listen, I care. It's just that I'm not finna wear myself out trying to care about something that I cannot change. Because if I burn out, who's going to be here for these kids? And I'm sure a lot of parents can relate to that. Burning out is not an option for me and never has it been. Yeah. One time I got bit by a spider, y'all, and it was terrible. I had to actually go to the emergency room for a spider bite. I was big back, so I couldn't, like, right now, anywhere on my back I can reach and stuff, but I couldn't back then, so I had to, well, backtrack. I was actually putting ice on it at one point, and then heat on it, and then oils, and then aspercrate, and all kind of shit. And then my back said, "What? We out of here." So I had to go to the hospital, and I was there all night. And I had to get up that the next day and go to work like nothing happened. I just had to prep myself. I didn't get any sleep, and my back was hurting even worse because all they did was busted the because it had formed, I guess, pus maybe even, and they stitched it up. That's it. Not even stitched it up. They covered it with some gauze. And I had got myself to work because I know that if I don't come here for these kids, who's going to be here for the kids? And the last thing I want to do is have a parent drop their child off and I'm not here. Because the spider bit me? No, But that spider tried to take me out. But over the years, I've learned to create a calendar. That's a full year with some days off because nobody's going to come in here and tell me, girl, you look tired. Why don't you just take the day off? Mm-mm, mm-mm. My first year, though, I was open 365. Okay, that's a little exaggerating, but close to it. Like the only days we closed was the weekend and on the major holidays. And for the most part, some kids had perfect attendance. Note to anybody who ever joins my daycare, we love your child. We will love them down, but it's okay for you to miss. It's okay for your child to not come every day. We do not give out perfect attendance awards. I am not encouraging you to bring your child to school bright and early every morning. I do not subscribe to having anyone think that their child should be here present every day. No, it's not a thing. Feel free to break. Now, I love them and all, but every day, I only want my kids every day. So, no, thank you. So, considering that I knew I would never get a break, and I created that schedule to have vacation days, personal development days. I don't have sick days, actually. I just tell myself I'm not sick. But like I said, have personal days, vacation days, professional development days, holidays, and then we're closed for different breaks, fall break, summer break. No, I don't get a summer break. Actually, it's just fall. Anyway, but seriously, if I don't take a break, I'm sure I will not get a break. And if I don't get a break, I am going to break. So, one thing I'm going to do is I am going to make sure that I schedule that time off throughout the year so I'm not overworked. Because if I'm overworked, I'm not any good to these kids. At first, parents would like say little sly stuff. Not all my parents. Some of my parents are, I love them to pieces. But some of them would say sly stuff like, "You off again? Y'all closed again?" It's like, girl, weren't you just off? Don't you take vacations? Oh, you just don't want me to have one. That's crazy. And I'm not complaining. It's just that don't look at me when I want to break. Don't look at me crazy. This is a lot of work, and sometimes the work gets hard. So to continue on day after day without a break is not good, and it's not something I'm going to do. I try to protect my mental health and I make sure that I get my time off. Anyhow, Gregory and Barbara are having a conversation with the parents and the family about how this job requires a lot of conversation. And I can attest to that. And I can attest to not wanting to talk to people or having to have conversation but it comes to the job, so I do it with a smile, no problem. I got that. It's just gonna be tired though. Janine calls Tariq, and although he has a car and no job, he doesn't answer. And she tells him to look at the budget tonight on the voicemail. Gregory walks in and offers Janine to go get some lunch. she contemplates waiting for Tariq, but she comes to her senses and she went to go get her some food because we know Tariq is not going to come and pick you up and take you to go get something to eat. If he does, you're paying for it. So just go and get that bite with Gregory. Not only did Gregory feed her, but he also fixed the portrait that was on her wall in her room. That if she would have fixed it herself, it would have took her a lot of time and effort. She got to go get a ladder or a chair and balance it. When he just reached up there, like, in the end, the parent who is always late walks in 5 minutes early with her child, and she thanks him for caring enough to speak. She thanks Gregory for caring enough to speak with her about her child's attendance, because sometimes we all just want to know that somebody care about our babies, right? Thank you so much for watching. That is the end of this video, and bye for now. I'm trying to get that glare on my glasses. I know that's not surprising to some of us, but the reason you should not watch the news but I do watch Abbott Elementary, or I didn't want to pay for it to get fixed in spring and winter, not fall, spring and winter, I think. You're bad for wanting to take a break. Like, they don't know their kids.